Johnny Rock Show. Rockin' 101, the Rock Station.
901, the Johnny Rock Show. On the phone from Hollyweird, Deborah Presley Brando. Elvis's first biological daughter and ex-wife of Marlon Brando's late son. Good morning, and may I say, I didn't even know Elvis Costello had a daughter. I'm just, hey, come on. Yeah, there you go. The new book, Memoirs of a Starseed Child. Elvis, Marlon, Christian, and me. Get it now where you get your books. This is over the top for me. Is an understatement, but tell us about the book and your life, and, it couldn't have been easy, right?
Yes and no, because, some ways it was very difficult, but what are you going to do in the face of adversity? Either you go down or you get up. I just get up. I'm just wired that way.
Well, yeah, I like that.
It's basically my life story, and it's about the search for my father. I didn't care if he was, the local veterinarian, as long as I knew the truth. And then when the truth came, I was conceived before he was famous. He had holes in the bottom of his shoes in June of 55. And the colonel came in and said, you can't have a daughter. She can't exist. So that's the way it was up until, and I was raised, by another man, and basically as a Mormon. And I've had a lot of tragedy, suicides. My husband was charged with murder that he didn't commit. And the whole time I realized I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And knowing that gives me strength to help other people. I take care of autistic children. And we're all capable of so much more than we do. And that's that we know or recognize. And that's what the book's about. It's a book of generational spiritual healing, that we are all spiritual beings, so much more powerful than we realize. And we need to realize that now more than ever. My belief.
Well, I believe the story about the colonel, absolutely, because I'm sure you know, but John Lennon, when the Beatles happened in 1963, he was married to Cynthia Lennon, and they wouldn't let him admit that he had a wife. How could a Beatle have a wife? All the teenagers would have dumped him.
No.
So, yeah.
Exactly, because every girl that listens wants him for their own, and that's the way it was, especially back then. We're talking, almost, 60 years. I'm 67, so it's true. But now, look at Hollywood, where it is. Anything's allowed, it all goes, but the pendulum is swung too far. And my book is just about the awareness of who you are and who I am and where we really came from. And it's just, we are so powerful as human beings, and we just need to own that and not be afraid and not, listen to the news too much, and just make peace in our own presence, in our own lives.
The new book is Memoirs of a Starseed Child. Elvis, Marlon, Christian, and me. Available now. Deborah Presley Brando. Can we touch on your ex-husband? It's it's a blur to me, but I remember a murder trial and then a death. How did you meet Marlon Brando's son?
His manager was my manager, and I saw his picture on the wall at her house, and I didn't even see a face. I didn't have a name on it, and I said, I'm going to marry that guy. And when I was walking outside, she goes, by the way, that's Marlon Brando's son. And I said, and a word I won't say on the air. But the rest was history. Plus, he was accused of killing his sister's husband, but he didn't. And in the book, the detective who arrested him says it was all to protect his sister. So he was a hero, not a killer. And he lived with that his whole life. He spent 5 years in prison for something he didn't do, but was protecting his sister, who ended up killing herself. And I've had, 4 suicides in my immediate family. And we shared tragedy, and he was a good man that was misunderstood.
Well,
except for when he drank.
Yeah. Did you spend any time with Marlon Brando, or was he sort of out of the picture?
I spent a little time with him, but I would send all of my letters up to the house, and he would see that Christian got them throughout over about a 4 or 5 year period. So Marlon basically facilitated my relationship, because without him, I wouldn't have been able to reach Christian, because half the time he didn't know where he was.
Wow. Well, listen, Deborah Presley Brando, you can't make this stuff up. The new book, Memoirs of a Starseed Child, Elvis, Marlon, Christian, and Me, available wherever you get your books. Will you be safe out there in Hollyweird? And
also on my website, DeborahPresley.com, if they want a signed copy. So,
signed
copy. Thank you so much.
Oh, there you go. Well, thank you. Come on back anytime, okay?
Looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Johnny Rock Show. Rockin' 101. The Rock.